Heavy Radio, back at it again, episode 22. Marco and Eric are back in the building, back for the attack. Marco, how are you doing on this fine evening?
Heavy Radio 22, kicking ass.
Kicking ass, taking names, and getting phone numbers. That's what we'll be doing on this evening show.
That's what we're always doing.
After hours, after dark episodes. They're rare, but when they happen, it's a vibe.
Yeah, we got a very happy birthday to Paul Stanley.
Yeah, you guys
Mr.
like tequila?
Paul Stanley from Kiss. Happy birthday. And we got a happy birthday to Ian Hill from Judas Priest. Ian Hill is just holding it down over there in the corner on his birthday.
That's two cool dudes. Hell yeah, he is.
Yeah, I would have never guessed. Actually, Ian Hill was born exactly a year before Paul Stanley.
Look at that.
Crazy.
So that makes them 69, 70, I believe,
I think so.
from what I read. Happy birthday to those two cool dudes. Keep it holding the flame.
Heavy Radio time machine, this day in 1982, Ozzy Osbourne was hospitalized in Iowa with rabies after biting the head off a dead bat that was thrown on stage by a fan.
That's real history, dog.
Vets Auditorium in downtown Des Moines, Iowa. And, the rest is Ozman history.
Yes, it is. I'm proud that happened in Iowa. Happened
Yes, it's one of the more notable events.
Shit happens in Iowa, man.
I know. We got some Heavy Radio 22 news coming in hot.
Hot news.
There's a crowdfunding campaign set up for former Iron Maiden frontman Paul Di'Anno to raise money for a much-needed knee surgery. If you want to help Paul Di'Anno run free, you can go to justgiving.com, Paul Di'Anno.
There you go. I just saw about that. Yeah, if you can make a donation, help a dude out.
I mean, it's
sure appreciate.
He sang on those first couple Maiden records. I think he deserves a knee.
He made those records, dog. You can't. You
don't want him
away.
to wind up like Eddie.
Exactly. And that's what happens. First the knee, then full Eddie. That's what happens.
It happens so quick.
Yeah, I have a fun new release announcement that came out from the camp of Dio. His label is going to remaster and re-release a couple of his live albums that have been out of print. Holy Diver Live and Evil or Divine live in New York City. Both of those are coming out February 12th. What's cool about the Evil or Divine live in New York one is that's the 2005 tour for Master of the Moon. So some songs off of that, and Marco and I actually got to see that tour. We were lucky enough to see them, I believe, with Anthrax.
Yeah, Anthrax and Fireball, or I think Fireball Ministry opened too. It was a great fucking lineup.
Yeah, definitely on my top list of concerts ever. Easily.
Yeah, and we talked about it with our former guest Brianna, because I got to hang with Rudy Sarzo that night. It was fucking rad.
Yeah, the Sarzo connection, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts. And Dio shook my hand. Marco and I were front row center singing with Dio. We knew every word. It was a great time. And Anthrax destroyed, because of course they did. Antisocial live. You haven't lived until you've been in the mosh pit for Antisocial with John Bush screaming in your face. That's good living.
And both Anthrax and Dio brought their classic heavy and their new heavy, because I remember Dio played The Eyes, and that was so heavy. And Anthrax, What Doesn't Die, it's fucking sweet.
Brutal. I'm excited to hear the new Anthrax record once they get done with it. Sounds like they're working.
And the new Megadeth. Megadeth frontman Dave Mustaine has earned his purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at age 59. His instructor
dang.
said, hard training and lots of ups and downs, but today we had the honor to promote Mr. Dave Mustaine with his well-deserved purple belt. So that's an intermediate adult ranking in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mustaine is also
That's
a
pretty
black
cool.
belt in Aikido-kan karate and a black belt in Taekwondo. So that's pretty
crazy.
awesome that he's leveling up in the martial arts.
I didn't know he had that many belts, especially after he just like had the cancer bout. That's pretty crazy that he's back out on the mat and doing his thing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good to hear. 'Cause there was
Yeah.
it was pretty scary there for a bit for Megadeth fans out there. Cool. Well, we brought you the news, and we love bringing you.
we do
the
we do
metal.
have to address the bear in the room.
What is that?
Iced Earth John Schaefer. Have you heard about
Ah.
him? Have you heard tell of him?
Yes. Yeah, I've heard about that
He's
guy. I saw
he's
pictures
in-
of him recently.
He's in the Slammer, the big house, the really really big house, the Slammer.
The big top, the
Um,
big one, boys.
And apparently he was at the Capitol wielding
Apparently.
bear spray is what they say
You
allegedly,
can see a picture of it in
which
Time
is
magazine.
It's really disappointing because I think people from even in the heavy metal world can fall victim to getting sucked into that and getting violent, unfortunately. So that part's sad because as ridiculous as it gets, I do have friends that are leaving their job from the last administration, have friends that are getting sworn into the new administration, and I feel like I don't know, people got off the fucking rails, but John Schaefer unfortunately was one of them. So hopefully he's thinking about how ridiculous it was that he brought bear spray to the Capitol.
Yeah, and when I saw that, I was just like, well, that's just a random thing I did not expect to see as part of that already insane event. But I would say Marco and I don't have exact political things on everything, but I do believe that in the metal world, especially of the metal world, is an inclusive place, and it should be. This whole genre is about speaking your mind and your feelings, but I believe all metalheads believe that the code of leave it all on the mat, leave it in the music. You want to talk, cool, but we're all a metal family, and
Yeah, I think
That's all I
the first time that you have some heavy metal at a inauguration day, there'll probably be it'll bode well for humanity, I think. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
get there. Maybe we'll get there in the next few times around. But
it's a millennial president
yeah.
soon.
Hell yeah. I think you got something when it comes to paying the bills.
Yeah,
I think it's about that time. You got to check the old bill
these
paying
things,
machine.
you got to pay them. Money doesn't come out of nowhere. So I got this one off the press. I believe this company has brought us another product. Wasn't quite sure. We'll read from the copy because we're professionals. Cover you in olive oil. Brian Johnson is back with his next great product, olive oil. Cover you in oil, that's in a proper name, brings the fun and excitement of an AC/DC show to your kitchen. The patented bell-shaped bottle chimes every time you pour the bottle. You'll feel like Brian hyping up a crowd of thousands of fans while hanging from a giant bell. The recipe was carefully brewed for a smooth yet raspy flavor. Grasp a bottle today and tell your favorite dishes, quote, "All right, honey, come on, let's go. I want to cover you in oil." So, oddly, I feel like a lot of innuendo in that copy, but I believe that was similar to the last product we had from Brian Johnson. But you know what? He's the singer of AC/DC, and if he wants to do these side ventures, I'm happy to take his money and promote them. It's the least I can do as a longtime AC/DC fan. So get your olive oil out there, metal fam.
Cover that salad in oil.
Anything. I believe anything could work.
Anything goes.
It's probably flammable though, so be careful. Use it in or outside of the kitchen. Professional. Well, every week, Marco and I like to bring you some metal picks, metal stuff we've been listening to. Last week, you might have listened, we did our top 10 picks of 2020. So now we are in a new year, new decade. So we got some hot new picks for you, Marco, and some classics. Marco, what's your first pick of the week?
Comes from a little guy named Yngwie Malmsteen with Queen in Love. And this comes from Trilogy, the third studio album by guitarist Yngwie Malmsteen. It was released on the 4th of November 1986 through Polydor Records. Malmsteen dedicated the album to the memory of the late Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme, who was assassinated on the 28th of February 1986. And fuck, Queen in Love. This track, ever since I first heard it, it's just always been a banger. Stood with me, stood the test of time. I rocked it today. We're rocking it now on the podcast. Fucking, you got Yngwie on the album cover slaying a fucking dragon with his
who does that?
With his fucking battle axe, with his guitar. Yeah,
the Stratocaster. I've been chasing that tone myself. I got my fiance got me a Strat for Christmas, and so I've been chasing that Yngwie tone. There's just something about that. It's you instantly know who it is, and that song's got that rhythm tone, and catchy as hell. I don't think the Yngwie catalog gets enough love for how catchy some of those songs are. I think it's up there with the Dawkins and the Rats of the time as far as hooks. So hell yeah, great pick. Let's see, my classic pick for this week, first up, is Quartz with Stoking Up the Fires of Hell. Quartz I've got into a lot in recent years. This whole record is just a banger front to back. This one definitely, like if you're about ready to go into the gym, you need to get amped up. This is definitely a staple for the workout playlist. So Quartz, Stoking Up the Fires of Hell. Some old school metal magic right there.
Yeah, in the last few years, I got a re-release of that. It came with like a patch and all kinds of goodies. Definitely a good one to crank loud.
It's about as metal as it gets.
Hell yeah! This one is a band that I definitely think needs the light shined on their catalog. Lots of badass stuff. The band's called Gravestone, and this is Creating a Monster. This is the title track from their 1986 album. Gravestone is from Germany. They formed in 1977. To me, what really stood out, a lot of great bass work, great bass tone. They released 5 studio albums between 1977 and 1986. In 2019, the band reunited to play live shows again, and the current lineup is the same lineup that they had in 1985. So, hopefully, we can be rocking out at a Gravestone fucking show as soon as possible. But Gravestone, this is Creating a Monster. That's the title of the album. This is the title track. Fucking badass shit, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely a hidden gem of a band. So if you guys out there haven't checked them out, definitely do. My next pick is a little band called Motley Crue. And this song is Keep Your Eye on the Money. This is actually a B-side from Theater of Pain. I caught it off of one of their reissues. I know that even the band themselves, I believe, on that Theater of Pain record, um, will say it's a more like poppy production. It's more like pop minded. Kind of lost some of the bite of the first couple records, but this song, Keep Your Eye on the Money, since it was a demo before they did all the finals, it's still got that raw. It sounds like it could have been on Shout at the Devil, and that's my favorite Motley Crue record, so I'm partial to that. So great song, just a kick ass. I mean, Motley Crue just does what they do, and so at least one part of the year, I just get into a Motley Crue zone. That's what I'm in right now. Just Tommy Lee's drumming, man, just still it's four on the floor, man. That's $1 million beat. Still rocks.
Yeah, I get really into his DJing stuff and methods of. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really like that other stuff, but when he played rock and roll, he was damn good at it.
Yeah, I hope he makes another one, man. Because yeah, I would listen to him drum all day.
I mean, somebody must like it, right? I guess.
If he's man, if he's
if
happy,
it makes you
then
happy to listen to Tommy Lee's
God
DJ
bless you,
music,
man.
then just keep
We
rocking.
all need some more. We all need some more light right now, some happiness. So if that's what you,
If that's
Tommy
what
Lee's
brings you
DJing is what
joy,
it does. Yeah,
that
find
brings
your
you
joy, man.
joy. In
Yeah. 2021, man. I'm staying positive.
you know who is a fan? I guess Pauly Shore is
Yes.
a big fan of that era of Tommy Lee.
Of course.
So there you have it, the Weasel.
There you have the Weasel
You
approved,
learn.
wheezing the juice. Make sure you have your quarters for Radmobile, kids. You never know when you might need to play it.
Have you ever listened to Pauly Shore's podcast?
I have not, but I can imagine it's fun. I
Or
have not
heard him
checked it out,
recently? It's like he's fucking the same exact. He's just stuck in a fucking chamber
weasel.
of the Weasel.
The
I feel
he's in
he's
the
like the
weasel.
same exact dude.
though. Hey, he is who we thought he was. Once again, week
Basically.
after week.
Yeah, fuck yeah, weaseling it out.
Hey, man, have fun, Pauly Shore. Do your thing, dude.
Next up, I have a raucous number from the band. If you haven't heard of them, they'll stick with you. The Cycle Sluts from Hell with Bloodlust.
Oh, yeah.
Cycle Sluts from Hell were formed in the late 1980s, played till the 90s. They were made up of, we have members Queen Vixen, She Fire of Ice, Honey 1%er, and Venus Penis Crusher. That's their real names. That's on their birth certificates.
That's their Christian given names.
That's their government names. The band's self-titled 1991 debut album was their only release. They've reunited a couple times, so maybe if you make some noise, you can convince the Cycle Sluts from Hell to reunite once again. But if
That's a
not,
badass name.
definitely fucking crank this track, Bloodlust. Cycle Sluts from Hell with Bloodlust.
There you go. That's how it has to be said. My last classic pick for the week is Agent Steel with the song Agents of Steel from their debut album. And I found out about these cats from, I talked about this already, but I was a VHS tape, and it was Anthrax, Overkill, and Agent Steel. It was like a bootleg from.
That's quite the combo.
Yeah, it was vicious, and it was like 84, 5. Because I know Anthrax closed with Gung Ho as a new song, so I think it must have been like 85. But that was back in the day for you younger fans out there when if you wanted to see a bootleg, we didn't have YouTube, so you had to pay $35 on eBay and hope that what you ordered showed up in the mail a month later, and then you would call your friend over and watch it.
And then you hope that the audio quality is at least good enough to make out like what's going
Yes.
on. And you hope that, it's like some guy with a fucking VHS camcorder fucking
The
on the
lines are
balcony.
going to come through it. It's going to start fucking up in the middle, and you can't hear like a song, or like And if you order it took so long, but luckily if you have a metal friend, he or she can also be ordering VHS. So then you could go back and forth and watch each other's tapes. And you always got maybe you have Rob Halford singing from Black Sabbath and a guy that's barely filming it from the nosebleed section. I may have Queensryche live in '91. I don't know. It's a wild. It's a gambit.
I feel like
That was the days.
technology is getting to the point where every live performance venue could have like a cameras filming a show, so people don't have to like film with their phones anymore. Like, don't feel the need to. Like, I've every once in a while I'll get like a quick clip just to hold that memory in a different way, uh, but yeah. So hopefully now it's a whole different ball game.
I'm down. I think most bands would be cool. We just want to get that music out. But yeah, that was the trip down memory lane for bootlegs. But anyway, back Agent Steel was on that bootleg, and they ripped my head off, and I didn't know they existed until I got that. And that song still kicks ass. Agents of Steel.
Oh yeah, they just put out a new song. Have you heard that?
I have not. I didn't know they were still recording.
Back for the attack. There's check it out. That was just on the outside of my picks from 2020, and this other band. This is Heavy Radio 22 new picks, and
New picks.
this one was just outside of my top 10 too. It's Bloodstar. Their first public recording came out in 2020. It was just two badass fucking tracks, but they got the cassette tape. They got, if you like CDs still, they got that. They got it on vinyl. Two fucking badass tracks from Bloodstar. I'm looking forward to this. It's sounding really killer. This is Bloodstar with the Fear. Check it out. Fucking crank it. This is some top-notch shit.
Badass.
This shit had to go through Lou.
Oh man, I haven't watched that in a while. My first new pick is a band called Vector, and this song is called Activate.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. This is some next level shit right here.
Yeah, this is like modern.
This is some next
thrash.
dimension shit.
Yeah.
Is it like
it's
tuned half step up? I don't even know. It sounds like it could be.
I would
or-
believe that. I know some bands do that. It's I've never really sat down and absorbed a whole Vector record. This song just jumped out at me as far as new releases, and I was just like, "Oh, what's this about?"
The fucking uppercut to the fucking speed zone.
Yeah, it's creative. It's not. They have their own sound. It's like old school, but not copy and paste. It's really cool. So I was really impressed with this song, and I definitely want to check out more Vector after hearing this. So this might be one I'm sleeping on. One of those bands that I should be knowing about. So if you guys out there haven't heard of them, definitely check them out.
Hell yeah. Next new pick from me is Gate Creeper with Starved. This is from their new release Unexpected Reality. The band stylistically divided this album into two halves. There's the side A that's labeled the fast side, and side B that's labeled the slow side. And this starts off side A, fucking Starved. This is a ball ripper for sure. Like, get ready, hold on to your fucking lug nuts.
Man,
Daddy's
so you're
got a
saying they
sweet
show up
tooth
at?
tonight.
Are you saying they might show up at your garage late at night with holding two muffler pipes and attack
That's exactly what I'm saying. And
you in a
they'll-
tornado formation?
you'll wake up feeling like Jamie Kennedy reading the reviews for Son of the Mask.
It's time for an overhaul.
I have listened to this podcast. It was actually ironically here. Go back to the Tommy Lee. It was his girlfriend or his wife's podcast, and
Oh, word.
she had wasn't that the guy Jamie Kennedy who was in Son of the Mask?
I believe so. I believe you are
He
correct.
just talked about like his worst experience in his life, and he said being part of Son of the Mask was the worst thing to ever
That
happen
was
to
also
him.
one of my worst experiences that's ever happened to me.
And he
We
said
all
that
felt it.
it actually shined a lot of light on what happened, I guess, because he originally was going to be given creative control, and he called Jim Carrey and got his blessing. So it like started off on a good foot, and then like he got showed up on like set day one, and it was just completely fucking different. And like there was all this shit where they're like, we don't have a budget, we don't have the budget for this, how are we gonna do it? And then it was just like a fucking mess, a hot mess, clusterfuck.
And it came through. That's the magic of art and film. That clusterfuck came through the theater screen for us. No thank you. Didn't the baby wear a mask at some point? I thought the baby had a
It is
mask.
very strong CGI baby mask wearing, I think.
That's that 2002 CGI. That's
It
that
was
Blade
heavy
2
on that.
CGI.
It was
That's that
heavy on
Blade 2,
heavy on
Matrix
the
2.
baby, heavy on the baby mask wearing, and
That was the golden age of CGI.
yeah, uh, it it looks like the same CGI they use for LeBron James Space Jam. So
Yep, that's
we'll
coming
see
our
what
way.
happens. I feel like they made that a long time ago.
I think they
How's
made
that
that
not
when
going to be horrible? How is that not going to be horrible?
I think they were making that since we were in college. So yeah, well, if you have HBO Max, which I do, it'll be there for me. So
Yeah, I
whatever,
heard
LeBron, let's roll, man.
there's a mass cameo.
I heard there's a mass because they had to use all the Warner Brothers characters. So I think I don't know if the kids even know who the Mask is these days, but they're gonna find out. I guess they're gonna learn today about Mask. So,
More mass than you can handle.
more Mask than human. Jesus. My my last new pick for the week is a band called Kind Eyes, and the song is called Lady Liberty. Um, Brutal song, heavy as shit. I think it's a 2-track EP that came out. I actually found these cats on TikTok. It's just basically just like, yo, this is my band, and it jumped out at me, so I went and checked out the whole song, and just really a kick-ass song. Lyrics are very poignant, definitely of the time, and talking about injustices in our country, and when it's sang from the people that actually experiences those injustices, it definitely hits strong. So, kind of tying back to what you're saying at the beginning, all perspectives are welcome. And it's a good way to get those thoughts out there peacefully.
Yeah, it's tough
And
because I do, Havoc has another band with some very strong content, and I think art is one way to get it out there, and then, but yeah, do it in a way that's not hurting people, especially if it's, the wrong people, not just some random neighbor, I guess. On a bigger scale, I mean, I think people need to look at history and see what happens when there's been plenty of countries where they actually did hunt down a leader and kill them and drag them through the street, and the people didn't wind up with like a better system of government or more freedom. So I think the big picture, you just got to keep in mind, like, don't let yourself get sucked into the fucking bloodshed and hatred, like, no matter what side you think you're on or you want to be on. It's like we don't need we need more of the Tim Ripper Owens iced earth, hold at all costs, don't draw your fucking sword on your brother. But
no, that's what metal and punk and hip hop. These are all the genres of like you're gonna listen to what I have to say. I don't. That's the beauty of it. So, but this band, kick-ass band. That looks like they're on the up. Just looks like they're. I imagine full albums on the way because these singles just dropped. So check out Kind Eyes. Check out their stuff. Lady Liberty song is brutal and the heaviest song I've heard so far this year. So, period. So, definitely check them out.
Fuck yeah, there's some strong tracks.
Strong tracks, strong living. A lot of going on these days, my friend.
Yeah, I think this is a ripper of a playlist. This is a ripping addition of tracks to the playlist. So check it out. Check out these
We're starting out
bands.
strong.
Check out their merch. Buy some merch, and support these bands so they can get out there on the road.
Yeah. And I wanted to shout out that definitely keep checking us out wherever podcasts are listened to. Tell your friends about us, The Batman Way. Check out the playlist on Spotify and attached to each and every YouTube video out there. And also stay tuned. Marco and I have some plans in the works, some fun new stuff for this year. So definitely stick with us. We love everybody that's listening. Thank you for listening and hanging out with us, and we appreciate it, each and one of you. And welcome to the party. Marco and I are going to keep throwing a party every week, and want you guys to join us. So
keep fighting the good fight. Keep speaking your truth,
that's right.
And just leave the bear spray at home. That's all I ask.
And yes, all that. Leave all that at home. We'll leave it at that. All right, Marco. Well, this has been the Heavy Radio, episode 22. We are in the new year.
20.
Heavy Radio.